Samson, being the 12th judge over Israel, enters into a covenant, takes a Nazirite vow, and exists amongst the Philistines. Now, the Philistines or the Philistinian people were different from the Canaanite people. The Israelites were forbidden to marry the Canaanite people. About 7 different tribes of people that existed in Canaan, of which they were forbidden to marry. The Philistines were not one of them. They were not forbidden to marry them, but they were well advised to stay amongst their own people, not for racial purity, but for spiritual purity. God separated the children of Israel from other people so that you would not marry people who did not have the same values and ideas that you do. So while it is not cursed to marry a Philistine, you would be unequally yoked to marry somebody who does not look to the same God that you do to solve the issues of life. Paul picks this up in the New Testament that says, be not unequally yoked, believers with unbelievers. Not that you're any better than them. We have the same trouble that they do, but we go to a different place for help. Now, the conundrum that Samson finds himself in is predicated upon the fact that Samson, who is at war with the Philistines, has fallen in love with a Philistinian woman, and he marries his wife was a Philistine. Isn't that interesting? Now Samson is married. You don't hear people talking about Samson being married, but Samson was a married man. He had married a Philistinian woman, and he was married to what he hated. How can you be at war with the people and then marry the people you're at war with? Here we have the first glimpse of the inner conflict that exists in the mighty man. Oh yes, he's strong. You're distracted by his physical strength, his dexterity, his ability, his might, his impact, and his force. You're distracted by the fact that he throws gates on the Philistines, that he is powerful, and you have imagined in your mind that he has some outward signs of strength like biceps and triceps and bulging chest and strong arms. But I submit to you, my brothers and sisters, that would be totally ridiculous to take an Arnold Schwarzenegger sort of guy and ask him, where does your strength come from? Samson operates in a strength that defies human logic. He doesn't look strong, he just is. Ooh, I had to laugh at that a minute because there's some folk in here that don't look strong. They just are. They don't look rich. The accountant doesn't say that they're rich. The bookkeeper doesn't say that they're rich. But every time they need something, God supplies it for them. And they're operating in a strength that doesn't make any sense. And if somebody would look at where you live and look at what you drive, they would say, how can a person like you, making the money you make, live in a place like that? It doesn't make sense, and yet God does it because they're walking in supernatural favor. You've been praying, Lord, make me look strong. But when God blesses you, you don't have to look blessed to be blessed. You've been waiting on the numbers to match up with your vision. But when God blesses you, it may not make sense on paper, but it still happens in your life because the favor of God is on your life. I wish I had a witness in here. Oh my God. It doesn't make any sense how God could bless you to prosper on a job doing something in which you have no degree. It doesn't make sense that you ended up married to a man that other women wanted who were cuter than you, and yet God gave him to you. It doesn't make sense how you got that woman with all of that degree and all of that beauty and all of that poise, and here you are cutting grass, but God just gave you favor. It doesn't make sense that you used to be a tramp and a slut and now you're a missionary and a soul winner. It doesn't make sense how somebody could come from where you come from and end up where you're at. That's why the haters hate you, because they don't understand how somebody who looks like you and came from where you came from could have what you have. To God be the glory. It's not what you go through, it's how you feel about it. It is your emotional reaction to what you go through. It is the agony that you go through internally about it that makes it as severe as it is. Other people go through the same thing that you face, and it is just smooth sailing because they don't have inner turmoil about it. Where does the inner turmoil come from? The inner turmoil comes from expectation. And when things don't go as they are expected to go, because we have a propensity to need to be able to control everything, we get frustrated because it is not going as we predicted that it was going to go. It might not feel good right now. It might not look good right now, but it's going to turn out all right.
Love you, Daddy.
Motivation at your fingertips.